Hey guys.
What's up, everybody? We are doing a double. So hang on, let's move this one over to you a little bit.
Sure. That's perfect.
So then, perfect. We're doing a double. So it's my Instagram. We've got Phil's Instagram also.
Love you too.
You guys are amazing. So, Alyssa, hi, beautiful. Aw. Do you know Alyssa too? I think Alyssa follows you. You have to follow her. She's amazing.
Oh, okay. I see.
Right
I see.
there.
Yeah. Great.
What's up?
What's up?
Sale.
Y'all are late.
Sorry, we're 5 minutes late.
We're 5 minutes late.
We were eating. We had
So,
to feed our bellies.
We're
our
excited
bodies.
to be here.
Yeah, we are.
Unexpected.
Totally unexpected. And, well, we hung out a little bit earlier today.
We did.
And then I just did my live, and then we were like, okay, let's jump on.
So here we are.
So here we are. Oh, Alyssa, I love you too.
Why don't we?
Hot tamales.
Oh wow! All right, so it's going pretty fast here, which is
yeah.
good.
We want to be able to answer your questions, and so we've kind of been like, okay, we're gonna take it like one step at a time with everybody. Yay.
We're gonna wait, I think, like just 30 seconds, and then why don't we
Wait
take
for
a
everybody.
question in about 30 seconds from now?
That feels good.
Let that set the tone, and
Yeah.
then yeah, it's good to see you guys. Hi, I'm from Canada too. Dream Intuitive, yay!
Awesome.
Love you guys. Love you guys too. This
guys
is
are
always
awesome.
fun. I'm
I know,
loving.
we love the
I
hearts.
love social media. It's so fun.
I love that we get to connect with so many people all over, like around the whole world. With
Hello,
Canada.
India.
Oh, India, amazing. Hello, India.
Hello, Telstui. Hello, Michigan. Hello,
Awesome.
Montreal. I'm from Montreal. Hi, Marcos.
We need to do a special shout out for our amazing sister Sonia, who's in
That's
Montreal.
right.
Our mutual friend Sonia, we love you.
We love you,
Mwah.
Sonia.
Colombia.
Ooh.
Ooh.
San
love you.
Diego.
Bonnie says she loves you both. Texas, awesome.
Washington.
I've been to Austin.
Canada here too. Yes.
Yay. We've got a Toronto. What does that say at the bottom?
That says
Algeria.
Algeria.
Wow. That's awesome. All right, you take the cake tonight.
Edmonton,
DC.
what's up? Wow, a lot of Canadians here. It's incredible.
That's
oh, Montreal
so fun.
here too.
Awesome. New Jersey.
Pakistan.
What? That's pretty solid
That's
as well.
insane.
Arizona, Oregon.
India. Namaste.
Boston. Hayward, California.
Queens.
Amazing. New Jersey. You guys are all amazing. Hawaii.
That's awesome.
I love Hawaii. You guys are so badass.
This is so great right now.
I love this community. You guys
Me too.
Are amazing.
Ontario again, Puerto Rico. All right, let's start.
Yes.
So, who has a question for us?
Yeah, and we'll do our best to like tag team.
Yes, we'll tag team.
We'll tag team both of them.
Thank you, Gucci. I appreciate that.
Yes. Hi from
Flatbush.
Iran. How do you detach without being
Ambivalent.
So I would love specifics on detaching from what, because that can be give a specific like scenario or something that you're working through. I like to tell people that, so I'll use it in the terms where a lot of people say like that they need to let go of something. So what I'm hearing you say is the detaching is wanting to let go of something. Any time that you keep reiterating that you need to let go of something, you bring it back into your present awareness of then something that needs to let go of. Hence, repeating it in your present energetic field. So what I like to share with people, when they're wanting to let go of something, it's not actually the process of letting go of anything. It's the process of instead focusing on what it is that you want or where it is that you want to go. And by focusing on that, the other ends up
Dissolving.
Exactly. Good word on that. So I hope that helps.
Yes. All right. Let's go with the next question.
Yeah, let's do you. We'll go. So that was mine, and then we'll do Phil's,
Perfect.
and then we'll go
Hello,
back to mine.
Toronto.
Oh.
Getting out of fear-based living. All right, so one thing to
Ooh.
keep in mind, I and Joshua 4, is that fear is usually pertains to the root chakra. So
Or the ego mind.
Or the ego mind. And I have found that for me, fear is all about physical action. Taking action to show the fear that it has no hold over you, right? So we can meditate all day long and be like monks at the top of a mountain, but that's not necessarily going to rid you of the fear. That's probably the first step if you're a meditator. The second step is to then take action to neutralize that charge. Terminating the contract. So dealing with entities and dark entities, parasites, old patterning, and making sure that you, in other words, if you have fear, you once unconsciously shaked hands with something that did not have your best intent at heart.
Ooh.
And so the idea is to then void the contract by taking your power back.
I like that. That's really solid. And I like that you said action too. So I like to say too, when it comes to fear, because fear is, yes, in the root chakra and in the mind, then technically the more, I like that you said action. So the more action that you can take towards the things that you want in spite of the fear. So not waiting for the fear to dissolve or dissipate, but that's where courage comes in, right? So courage isn't without fear. Courage is acting and taking action despite of whatever it is that's going on. So what's that quote too, where it's like, oh, when things are peaceful, then I'll like find my way, and it's like, no, when you find your way, then you find peace. That's not the exact quote, but so despite whatever fear is going on, it's taking that action despite of it, because it may or may not disappear, and not letting it stop you from achieving those things that you really want.
Absolutely. All right, let's go with another question.
Awesome. So question, we are not our thoughts. How does that work? Okay. So we are not our thoughts. So I think that's because I did like a little, like those little 1 minute videos on Instagram about that. So the we are not our thoughts is, think of your thoughts as energy, right? They'll come in, right? I see mine almost coming in from the left. I worked with somebody and they saw theirs almost like right in the center of their mind. And so if thoughts are energy, they may or may not be yours. So I'll say it this way. Your thoughts could come from, let's say, a deeper pattern or a program that you've learned, either learned by your family members that have instilled a certain belief system, right? Or whatever that is. Certain societal lineage, societal standards are belief systems, right? And that creates thoughts of what we think that we should be or have or do or whatever that is. Those are all thoughts that technically aren't generated from within us, meaning if you took yourself back to being a small child, right? Those, if you don't know the language until you learn whatever language, you know, of your heritage when you're a baby, right? You have thoughts, but those are created of your own, right? And if they're energy, then they're going to come in and then they have an option to then leave. So if you hear the ones that are coming in, if you like it, awesome, keep it, integrate it into your mind. If you don't like it, let it flow away. The other aspect of that is if you can be the observer,
yes,
then you are technically not your thoughts, you're observing your thoughts, in which
I just got a really good download.
Okay, cool.
Think of your thoughts as like people knocking at your door that are trying to enter your door and be adopted by you, right? And instead what you do is you say,
orphans.
yeah, little orphans, right? And then you say, you know, you don't let them in, but you look through the peephole to examine them and have them tell you a story and have them tell you what it is that they're wanting you to know. I have found
Maybe
that...
I shouldn't say orphans, because we would want to bring in
We would want to bring in orphans.
We would want to support that.
We would.
And at the same time,
we would want to support orphans. But think of your thoughts as like Serah said, they're energies, they're frequencies that your spiritual antenna are picking up on. And you don't have to make an agreement with them because you are your own being. And that's pretty much it. Like, so for me, I have learned
to it.
If you agree
That's
to
a
it.
really good point,
So
then
none
they
of them
become yours.
exactly. None of them are really yours because what are you? Who are you? We don't really know, but what we are is we're contributing to our evolution, and we do this through the studying of these thoughts, through the detachment of them, so that we can better understand and collect data as souls on this inhabiting this planet.
Yes, love that.
Yeah.
Just focusing on being the observer is really the key. Hearing the thoughts, choosing the ones that you want, choosing what you want to believe in. If you don't like it, then let it flow through you. You don't have to keep it.
How do you help your loved ones become awakened?
Ooh.
Well, by being the example. By being the example.
I was gonna say that too. You can't technically make anybody do anything.
The part of you that is wanting to awaken them is a part of you that's still unawakened.
Ooh. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. And let's just sit
I like to go for the jugular. I'm like, go for the jugular.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes, and we can't make anybody do anything. We can hold space, and in the process of holding space, I agree. It's kind of just processing your own, I like to say breaking the cycles, right? So any patterns that you're not enjoying anymore that may be family-based, right? Setting a new tone for that and showing by that example of how you can maybe do something better, or I don't want to say better, but that works for you, and then being that shining example of inspiration,
right,
can bring
and
them
accepting that they have their own unfolding, their own you know,
path.
their own awakening, unfoldment, and then being in that space.
Absolutely.
Damn, Phil, it's the soul. All right, cool. You go ahead with a question. Hello, Trevor, I saw you.
Concept of it. Hang on, let me scroll down. Let's see. Letting go of my fears with money or anger. Fears with money and fears with anger. So whenever you have a fear, there's a timeline technique that I like to use for specifically for fears, but fears are, ask yourself when you made the agreement that whatever that fear is, whatever belief and whatever meaning you made around it, and when you made that, what was happening in your life during that time, and if that's something that you would like to change, then it's...
They inherited it, though.
Oh, they inherited it.
Yeah.
Chances are, usually, from family or whatever, or from a situation or circumstance that affected. So, when did you believe that? What meaning did you make it? Or what meaning did you give it? And going back into that moment and almost looking 5 minutes before that moment to find out what you were doing was like, that's the almost trigger of then what created the fear. So you have some inner work to really focus on with that. So it's not so much of a letting go versus a diving in.
Also, this is just another perspective. Whenever you have a lot of fear around money, it means that you're probably hoarding your money, and I call it hoarding energy. And the universe wants us to give back, right? It wants us to give back. So if you're making money but you're hanging on to it, you're just hoarding. So be courageous enough to step out of your comfort zone and take a friend out to eat. Do something that you've never done before, so that you can break that pattern and invite, in a way, like kind of unclutter, so that you can invite new energy into your being.
Yeah, money doesn't like to go where it's feared.
Right. And
or where it's hoarded.
And keep in mind, like God source is always going to take care of you. So if you think that you can just get by on a can of tuna, then you'll always get by on a can of tuna. But if you're willing to step out of that paradigm and take a few risks, then God will take care of you at the level that you believe that you're worthy of. But we're always taken care of. Just know that. We're always taken care of. And you get to decide which quality of life you want to have, or at which caliber you want to operate.
That's a good point. I like that.
All right.
Money is energy too.
Money's
and anger is energy.
Anger's energy.
It's emotion.
And usually
it's
the
energy
anger,
and motion.
the anger is usually generated through you going against what your spirit actually wants for you.
That's such a good point.
It's generated through that. So I know it can be scary. I've been there with money where I was really, really tight with it, and then I then, I eventually heard from my inner voice, my spirit team, like, Phil, you just have to take a few leaps of faith and take people out. It doesn't have to be $20. It can just be $4. It's the intention behind it that matters.
And the intention of getting over that fear of just back to what you said with taking action.
Yes.
Love that. Okay, whose side are we on? Are we doing yours?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are amazing.
You guys are really good.
We love you.
All right. What do I do if my job is not in alignment with my highest vibration, but I need it for income? Would you like to chime in?
Okay. I'm a Libra. I like balance. You don't have to be a Libra to like balance. And if it's not in your highest alignment, then it's almost like keeping a little bit of because it's serving you, so it's paying your bills, right? So I don't necessarily believe in dropping everything and fully diving into something else, if that creates too much fear that then can paralyze somebody emotionally, right? Or energetically. And so I would say finding out what your real passion and your purpose is, and something that does make your heart happy, and that could be something as simple as just what feels like fun right now. And that's your spirit's like calling of just what gives you joy and what feels like fun.
Directing your mental energy and your spiritual energy as much as you can to that thing that you want.
Absolutely. And then that will start to balance out. You won't hate going to the job as much. And the more energy then that you give into something that you really are passionate about, right? Then you'll be able to create that space because you're moving into almost like a different dimensional understanding of things and a different dimensional creation. And then you'll be able to you're putting more, you remember seesaws, right? You're putting more rocks on the seesaws. You're not just dropping all the rocks on the other side, right? You're putting one over here and then one over there and focusing your intention until such time that then you could move on from that job. But keeping that balance.
And you don't have to leave the job. You do not have to make your exit. Again, everything is vibration. It's good that you have that recognition that it's not a match for your highest self. But again, you are a vibrational match right now in this physical reality. So finding the lesson in the physical reality. And then, I guess...
It's still teaching you something.
Yeah, exactly. And then once you learn the lesson and you're truly no longer a vibrational match on every level, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, then the universe is going to squeeze you out like a juice of that job. You won't have to do much,
It'll push you out.
It'll push you out.
When you're ready to move into what your true highest calling is, it's like, oh, you're going to try to do something else. No.
Right.
No, that
exactly.
won't work.
Exactly. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that.
You guys are awesome. Okay. Oh, somebody needs this. Moki Bloom says, oh my God, I need this. Awesome. You're so beautiful. Why does it look like mine is a little dimmer?
Do you want to check your exposure?
I don't know how I do that.
I'll try to look at another question.
Pause for, we're going to do a super quick question on Phil's while I do something super quick.
What do I do if I can't find anyone to connect with? Is it?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just don't want to.
What do I do if I can't find anyone to connect with? Friends, love life, everything. I feel so alone. Well, that lets me know that I understand. Try to call your angels in more, your spirit guides, because the truth is you're not alone. There are so many beings around you that are floating or hovering right above you or right beside you, and so. For now, try to be with yourself, accept that there's a transformation taking place. If you feel alone, the universe has designed it that way. It's designed it that way so that you can get closer to source, closer to the universe. And then again, calling in your angels, your spirit guides to be with you, and you will feel them. They're kind of like a warm blanket being, enveloped around you. So try to do that a little more. That's the hit I'm getting.
Yeah. And I would say, just to tag on to that, one, we know we're never alone, right? So yes, we have the spirit guides and we have all of these amazing angels and, you know, whoever your team is, your energetic team. But it's also, what I'm getting is it's calling you into loving yourself more and loving and enjoying that peaceful time with yourself, being in conversation with the consciousness of your body, the consciousness of, in that quiet time, you can connect into your higher self even more. So yes, there's that lonely feeling. And so on the flip side of that, you know, are there fears to then connecting with people, you know? But really diving into your relationship with yourself. Because ultimately, once you create that strength and that inner love, then that's what you'll be able to come and offer to other people as well.
Good, very good. I like that a lot.
Bonnie says, if you're feeling, what is that, blocked? If you're feeling blocked but can't figure out why, how can you pinpoint what is creating the block?
That's a good question.
That is a great question.
If you're feeling blocked but can't figure out why, how can you pinpoint what is creating the block? Maybe there is no block. Maybe the universe. Maybe there is no block.
Spoon.
Maybe the universe just doesn't.
Bend that bitch.
Yeah, maybe the universe just has you where it wants you right now.
Sorry,
Flip it on its head. Flip it on its head. But yeah, I'm. Maybe there is no block right now. Maybe you think that there is one. Maybe the universe is really just creating the illusion of a block, so that you can maybe have that belief that there's a block when there isn't. Maybe it's just a timing thing. Maybe you're being held back for a reason. Maybe, you know, it's not quite time for you to meet your soulmate or whatever it is, but usually we're being held back for a reason. And oftentimes we think that there's something wrong with us because we still see ourselves as imperfect and as broken, but maybe there is no block. Maybe it's just about acceptance of where you are right now and seeing the beauty in that. And that in itself will propel you forward to what it is that you're supposed to be doing.
I agree with that. And I would also say, find where it is in the body. So you said it was a feeling, but see if you can pinpoint where it is in the body. For instance, if it's in your heart, then are you blocking yourself from love of yourself, maybe other people? If it's in your mind, are you blocking yourself from your own creativity? If it's in your gut, maybe that's your intuition too. So it's like, where is it in the body? Seeing if you can pinpoint that, and then doing a meditation with yourself, because either way you have all of the answers when you can get super quiet with yourself and find out, okay, why is it that I'm blocked?
I just received a download for you specifically, the one who asked the question. So
right here.
All right, great. So the download that I received for you is that you've known for a while what you need to do, and it's time for you to do it. Enough signs have been given to you. So even though you don't know what the block is, you know what the solution to the block is.
Oh.
So yeah, you already know. They've shown you what the solution to the block is. So go ahead and go for it and be fearless about it. Yeah, you know what the solution is.
I think everybody can take that. That was solid. That was a solid mic drop right there. Okay, are we on yours?
Yes.
Okay. Let's scroll down. Great questions, you guys. This is on point. This is really amazing. And is everybody getting a lot out of this? Like both sides, Phil, show some hearts and love. Just like,
and please go follow Serah Delane. She's absolutely amazing. Like we have a lot in store for you guys.
Yes.
We really do. How to treat emotional eating spiritually?
Emotional eating?
So she
how
eats,
to treat it spiritually.
Yeah.
Okay. Emotional eating. So usually when it comes, or sorry, do you want to take?
No, go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
When it comes to you, okay. What is it? What are you making the food mean? Is it that you're not, like, what aren't you getting enough of? So when we want to feed ourselves with something, it could be any addiction whatsoever, then it's because that there's a void within us. And so it's finding out what that specific void is. But how to specifically do that spiritually, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's diving in deeper to yourself and feeling into what that lacking is, right? Usually it's just love. We don't give ourselves enough love and appreciation and consideration. Like we need to spend so much more time doing that.
And then offering I just got what the theme of this thing is going to be.
Okay.
A perspective, another perspective. I just got it. Because we're still kind of
and sometimes we share perspectives.
Right. So another perspective to that is maybe you're emotional eating so that you can guilt yourself the next morning. And the problem is the guilt. The problem is the self-guilt. It's not necessarily the eating. Maybe it's what you're wanting. It's what happens after. Are you guilty? It's also what happens in the interim of doing so. So as you're eating it, are you loving yourself or hating yourself? Because I have cookies every night and I infuse them with love and light. And I don't feel guilty about it. I did at one point, and then I would go to the gym and overly exercise. And then I realized the demon, the entity, wasn't the cookie. The demon was hiding behind the cookie.
Really?
And then the demon was hiding...
There's no demon in Cookie Monster.
This goes deeper. Yeah. The demon was hiding behind the over-excessive exercise. It was hiding behind both. So, and I was its marionette. So the idea is to, if you're self-deprecating and you're like, oh, I feel awful for having had this, try to be more compassionate with yourself. Try to be loving to yourself. Maybe you can approach it the next time as you know what? I'm going to bless this food. I'm not going to overdo it. Obviously, ask your spirit guides, ask your inner voice, your intuition, whatever, your body. Ask your body if you've had enough.
That's the conversation with the body.
That's the conversation with the body, the smart body. And you ask your body, hey, am I good right now? Or do I need more? And then if you're I think I could be happy tomorrow and not guilt myself with this amount, then you stop at that amount.
And I think, did she say it was emotional eating too, right?
It's emotional eating.
Yeah. So it means that there's an emotion that's not being fulfilled that then you're trying to create. So that could either be guilt.
It could be guilt. It could also be just an imbalance in the root chakra, something that makes you feel fuller, more grounded.
It's usually what makes people feel complete. So it's a, hang on, what's the word? Oh, bring it.
What word is it?
It starts with a C. So we're always seeking for, it's not validation. We need, it's not consistency. I can't think of the word right now. We're always looking, certainty. So we're always looking to have something that makes us feel certain. And so when you eat, you know the feeling that you're going to get, and it's familiar to you. It feels like home. It feels certain. You know what that is. And so it's the certainty feeling. So if you could find certainty in something else, then that could release the attachment for needing to have the eating fulfill that certainty feeling.
Yeah. And then also not judging it. It's all about it's all about erasing that judgment. Maybe you need to, maybe it's something that feels good to you right now and you just need to do it for a while. But remove the judgment. The judgment, because the judgment is the worst thing that we can do to ourselves.
That's more self-deprecating than guilt, and then beating yourself up, and then kicking yourself and picking at yourself and all that stuff.
Next question.
Okay, so let's see. Letting go of negative, fearful thinking patterns.
Serah Delane. That's her IG. What's the girl's IG? It's Serah. Serah Delane.
Serah with an E.
Serah.
Serah.
I just posted a photo with us, and it's on there.
Which is amazing.
All right, what was the last question again?
Okay, so how to let go of negative, fearful thinking patterns. That's my specialty. Because everything, I can't say everything is in the mind, right? But the things that get us stopped are in the mind. And so everything is a pattern It's like having a bad habit that you're consistently doing. So you need to find out what it's paying you, what it's giving you.
What it's paying you. I love that.
So even though it could be something negative, right? It goes back to then even the certainty thing, where even guilt, it's paying to get guilt.
Yes.
It's part of our subconscious negative motivation and all of those weird patterns that we all have. We all have them. And so whether it's fear, whether it's anxiety, whether it's negative thoughts, those are patterns that are lodged in our subconscious. And so it takes diving into the subconscious to really understand where those patterns come from, because that fear pattern could be started when you were super young and you didn't have a discernment level for what was right or wrong, or what was healthy love or unhealthy love, and you created a belief system within you at that moment. You made an agreement with yourself and you said, okay, this is what I believe and this is what I'm going to do from here on out, because it was needing to protect you from something. It was your self-protection that created that pattern. So
beautiful.
That specifically that takes a little bit more diving in work. So I'd be happy to send me a personal message.
Definitely.
Because that is something that I really I enjoy helping people with, because we all have them. And it's what gets us stopped from doing the things that we really enjoy, or having the relationships that we want in our life, or following our passion and purpose.
How do you overcome fear and anxiety? Maybe it's not so much about overcoming it, but rather sitting with it and asking it what it needs from you. What it's trying to communicate. You know, I've found that like anxiety really just means like you're picking up a lot of energies through your psychic sensors, and oftentimes energies that pop you out of your now, that pop you off center. And then it's a matter of like being like, I'm not going to be enslaved to, you know, these thoughts that are trying to pull me out of my moment. I'm going to bring myself back to the present moment. And this is called mindfulness. Mindfulness, if you're looking at a flame and you start to get, your attention starts to get diverted, the idea is to bring yourself back.
Yeah.
Bring yourself back. Also, if you're feeling the anxiety, you've also made too many agreements with thoughts and taken them on as your own.
I like that you say that, too many agreements with your thoughts.
Too many agreements with your thoughts. So try to sit with the anxiety and then breathe through it for about 10-15 minutes. And after those 10-15 minutes, you will find that the anxiety subsides. And when it subsides, that's who you are. That's who you are when you disentangle yourself from those things.
I'll share because there was a good almost 3 years that I dealt with extreme anxiety. And I mean like just physically crippling feeling anxiety. It felt like I would stick my finger in a light socket and this like surge of energy would go through my body and I would start shaking. So I know what that feels like, and it's the most uncomfortable experience in the entire world, and I don't wish that on any worst enemy. And one of the things that I did, because I worked with it mentally and I worked with it energetically, and so I realized that some of it was coming from outside, meaning I was hypersensitive. I was picking up everything. People's thoughts, people's emotions, like everything. And I could see the frequency almost hitting me.
And you can be home. You don't even have to be around people.
Oh my God.
It's remote.
Exactly. And so I would feel it and it would hit me, and then that would create in my body the anxiety. But I knew it wasn't coming from, let's say, a thought.
Right.
It did kind of trigger a thought, and then that increased it, right? So what I would have to do, I did a lot of mental visualization. So I would recognize that it was coming from somewhere outside of me. Or for you, if it is stemming from a thought, then see if you can find out what that thought is, and then your agreements with the thoughts.
And another thing to bear in mind, maybe the anxiety just means that you're receiving higher waves of energy, higher frequencies, and your body is undergoing a metamorphosis, right? It's undergoing a transformation.
Yes.
So rather than looking at the anxiety as a bad thing, see it like, I always say, I'm so privileged to be going through this transformation right now. You know, maybe
it
the anxiety
feels like shit, and it's gonna be so great on the other side.
Exactly. if you perceive it to be bad, then of course it's going to take a toll on your system.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be pushing that stuff away. It'll keep coming back. But if you actually perceive it as a good thing, and your body is undergoing a transfiguration, then you can just give thanks for those energies within your body that are being upgraded to a higher frequency.
Yeah. And I'll say one other quick super thing on that too. I did a visualization where I would close my eyes and I would see the neurotransmitters of my mind. I would visualize it, and I would see that when one of them was firing, it wasn't connecting to the other one. And so if it wasn't connecting, that's where the anxiety would happen. So I would do a visualization where if I would see it firing and it didn't connect, I would then merge it and connect it together, and that would then start to relax my body. So whether that was something that I visualized that then just had me experience that, or whether it was what I was actually doing in my mind, it was creating a new neural pathway.
Totally. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Is it your turn?
I think, let's see. Okay, so she said that helped. Let's see. You were the best. So are you. Yay. I have trouble healing past memories. Okay. Once I begin, hang on, my contacts are drying out too. So once I begin the process, it becomes an onslaught of all and then get downtrodden in the mud. So healing past memories, once I begin the process, it becomes an onslaught of all and then I get downtrodden in the mud. Okay, so in healing, okay, I'll give you guys a subconscious hack.
I like that.
And this is why I love the work with subconscious. So when you are working with past memories, okay, when you're visualizing it, if you close your eyes and you visualize the memory through, seeing it through your own eyes, you're almost picking at the scab of it, and it's reintroducing it into your cellular memory, your emotional memory, all of that. So if you want to work with a past memory, pull yourself out of the equation and visualize the memory and that experience as if you're watching it on a movie screen in front of you. So you see yourself with whoever else was involved or whatever that situation was, and that way you can work with it and it won't tell the subconscious that you're reliving the experience. If you see it through your own eyes, you're going to relive that experience so to your subconscious mind, which is then, like I said, going to trigger your emotional.
And another thing is, like, healing past memories is kind of like focusing on lack, because you're focusing on what's missing,
not and what. Yeah.
And so what you can do every morning is say, I am healed. I'm healed. Speak to the cells in your body. The cells in your body are highly intelligent. They're waiting to hear from you.
I love this. We're talking about the conversation with the body. I love it.
And you just have to speak to your cells and say, I'm healed.
Yeah.
And that's going to fire up your DNA.
Yes.
Big time.
Yes. Love that. Great question.
Sparking up those fuses or
neural networks in the brain.
Yes.
Yep. I love creating new neural pathways.
I know.
It's so
me
much
too.
fun. Paving new highways in your mind.
All right.
What do we got?
Let's see. Let's just pick one randomly. This is for dreaming, so you'd be really good with that, Serah. Okay. I used to dream and remember my dreams, always, even experienced lucid dreaming, and now I have seemingly dreamless sleeps. Pourquoi? Why?
Seemingly dreamless sleeps. So, from what I know about dreams, everybody dreams. Every single person dreams. It's about whether you remember it when you wake up. And so sometimes, like, everybody's probably had that experience where you're in this, like, deep, amazing dream, and then, like, your alarm goes off, and then you're like, oh, crap. And that shock almost, like, wipes your memory of the whole thing. So in the process of moving down the brain waves from the the unconscious to then waking up and coming conscious, there's a process where it's the memory of it is is not holding. And so that could be for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes if I have what seems like dreamless, or when I forget the dreams, sometimes that can be because you're out there experiencing something or working through something within your subconscious that you don't need to consciously remember. And so that could be maybe your spirit guides are working with you and they're taking you on a journey.
Performing
and it's
cosmic
so
surgeries.
Performing cosmic surgeries, there's that. Alien abductions, there's that too. And we won't go there. And what if that experience, what if you got the experience that you needed to on a subconscious level, and yet it's working through your energy fields, and yet it hasn't reached your conscious awareness yet because it's not meant to yet? So sometimes we'll get downloads of information from our guides or our higher consciousness, and it's almost like it's filtering through our energy fields, but it's not ready to almost like be shared fully consciously because it's still like marinating and working through something. So there can be a lot of, I mean,
and then
subconscious
and then
mind
you
is,
could just before you go to sleep just state,
you could,
you make a declaration like, hey, I would like to remember.
Yeah, you could do
or
that too.
to become lucid within the dream. You could do that too.
I love lucid dreams. I have a lucid dream almost at least minimum on average like once a week.
That's amazing.
They're a little bit intense.
All right, next.
Okay, let's see. Daniela, why are some people bound to suffering? So that's in quotation. So bound to suffering. And what happens if they are unaware of spirituality and past lives and how to heal themselves? That's a great question.
They will eventually become aware of it. Why are some people bound to suffering?
And that's bound, like, so.
Well, they're bound meaning like they're destined to suffer or something?
Yeah, or like they stay in their, what I'm getting is they stay in their suffering and it keeps looping around for them.
Gotcha.
Everybody has their own path. And so if they stay in the loop of something, they're recreating it themselves. So again, it goes back to what it's paying them. If it's paying them to feel bad and maybe complain about it, or, you know, bitching about it or something like that, or they get to continue playing the victim role.
Exactly.
Then that's paying them. That's getting them attention for playing that specific role or continuing that loop of suffering. And either way, that's their path. So until they get sick of it and they want to move on from something, or if they're just continuing to loop, I think, they continue to pay themselves something. So you can hold space for that, and you can offer insights if
and
it's
you can
asked.
connect to your breath.
And you can connect to your breath.
Connecting with your breath can do wonders.
Yeah. But it's not your decision as to whether they end that quote unquote suffering, because maybe to them it's not fully suffering. You don't know what their experience is, but either way they're getting something from it. So until they either stop getting that thing or getting that thing and staying in that lower vibrational state is too painful, and then they want something different. Usually people don't make a change in their life until something is so painful that they have to make a shift.
Yes.
Was there a second part? And what happens if they are unaware spiritually of past lives and how to heal themselves? That's their karma. You can't force anybody to be, like, what if they're unaware of spirituality or past lives and how to heal themselves? There's a lot of people, unfortunately, about that.
I always feel like there's like a light switch that your higher self turns on when it's time, you know, and sometimes
this could be this lifetime or another lifetime.
It could be this lifetime or another lifetime, and it doesn't matter how angry you are, how sad you are, how depressed you are. When it's time, it's time, and they will bring you up to speed. So they will, like, big time. So maybe they just, you know, sometimes even in the midst of being depressed, we are actually preparing the body for a massive awakening and massive transformation.
Yeah.
As far, like, I've gotten a few questions about the Kundalini. I'm just going to make it really brief. The Kundalini energy for me awakened very spontaneously. I was not looking for it. I had no clue what it was. But I know that I was one of those people who was really angry and really depressed and really mean to my loved ones. And then eventually I got to a tipping point where I told my roommate I would go and meditate, and then like a volcano, the
Sorry.
energy erupted. So the Kundalini, you can't force it to awaken. That too has its own time. And so but
do that
again,
yoga
do the yoga or do meditation.
Smoothly,
And some people will have to do yoga, 200 years to do it. And some people won't have to do yoga at all because they've done yoga in previous lifetimes or whatever it is. But the Kundalini itself will awaken when it's time. And it knows you better than you know yourself. And if you're not quite ready for it, it is not going to overwhelm you with sensory perception. It's going to take its time. It's kind of like sitting at the base of your spine, checking you out, making sure that you're ready for that. And then, you can't force it. So don't do any of those crazy things where you do,
and you don't
where you
wanna
jump
force
on your.
it, no.
Some people jump on the base of their, like they
No,
bounce off their spine.
no,
Don't do
no.
anything that's unnatural, because I did that. Like I smoked weed when I was 22. The Kundalini rose, and it was not good at all. And I
Yeah,
didn't know what the
I had the
Kundalini
same.
was, but
I didn't either.
I had no clue.
Yeah. And remembering too that like symbolically they're two snakes coiled around your spine. So when they want to awaken, it can be like, very smooth process because those two snakes are going to fluidly go up your spine. If they're just like shook awake, like think about how somebody wakes you up in the morning, like you're a cranky, like, nobody wants to be like abruptly awoken.
That's right.
And you're not the happiest person when that happens.
Yes.
And so energetically,
And you're
be
not
little-
necessarily going to be the one to initiate that awakening, because again, the Kundalini is like 15 steps ahead of you.
yeah,
It's
that's
going to
true.
initiate the awakening.
I didn't know that actually, because mine woke up like, and
Spontaneously?
it was after my near-death experience.
Mine did too, but I feel like it was like preparing. It's like
It was
it,
like
yeah.
building beforehand.
It was building beforehand.
Okay, yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We love all your guys' hearts. You're amazing. Is it okay to sleep with an ex-girlfriend? I mean, if you want to.
What are you getting out of it?
Yeah, what's the intention
Why?
behind
Because
that?
I'm sensing that if you're asking, you're not supposed to be doing it.
Oh, if you need clarity
If you're
on it.
asking if I should do this or if I should be with this guy, you're not supposed to. It's that simple.
I would have to second that.
It's that
There's
simple.
some like uncertainty feeling, and that could be your intuition saying whatever. And they're just saying, is it okay to sleep with an ex-girlfriend? So maybe they're not, but either way, it goes back to what your intention is. Whatever, if your intention is just to sleep with them, okay,
Also,
but you're not going to get
I just
anything
want
out
to
of that.
say something. Like, you guys, the one thing we all have is choice.
Yes.
Everything is
Always.
choice. It all boils down to that. So if you make choices that enrich your life every day, and you have about 200 to 300, maybe 2,000 multiple choices a day as to what to do, and as to which side to play, the dark side or the light side.
Love all your guys' hearts.
Yeah, and if you make the right choice, you're going to be augmenting your frequency.
Yeah.
And it can happen very slowly by making pit stops with this X or with that X or whatever, or it can happen very rapidly. And I'm telling you, every day you can make choices, hundreds of them, that expedite your evolution. So keep that in mind. Everything comes down to choice.
I like to see 100%. And this was interesting because after the near death, I got this whole visual where it was when a soul is born, right? So we're gonna go a little deep for a second, but I'll be quick with it. When a soul is born, we're gonna go deep but quick. Okay. And when a soul is born, you're assigned your own angel, right? But you're also assigned a demon, right? Or a negative or a lower vibrational entity. And there's almost a heavenly battle over your soul. And based on the choices that you make down here determines who gets socked in the face up there. So if and if you feel like the choices that you're making are for the benevolent side, awesome. It just depends on who you want to win that battle. Not to put the negative spin of everything's a battle. I'm not putting that in there at all. And yet we have all of our own choices.
And
right?
so if you're asking, should I be sleeping with my ex, I get
Yeah.
the imagery that you have one angel holding one arm and the demon holding the other. There's a tug of
Which
war.
one are you gonna go?
Which way are you going to go? And so you always know when you're in a space of coherence and benevolence, when it's clear. I always tell people, your aura should be like Sprite. Don't mix in the Coca-Cola. Don't mix in the Coca-Cola. It's only going to distort your thinking. And I love your example. That was really deep.
And so the Native Americans do it too, right? It's the white wolf and the gray wolf. Which one do you feed? So they have the same concept. I was going to say something on that. I don't remember what it is. But next.
They love what you said.
Awesome.
Super profound.
Loving your guys' hearts. You guys are awesome. This makes so much sense. Okay. Thank you, Starseed93. We've got some star seeds on here.
Yes.
Oh my God. I need to hear this. Thank you. Badass. Oh my God. I love that. Awesome. Badass.
What's next for me? You get to decide. What do you want to create? Always ask yourself, what do I wish to deliberately create for myself?
What feels like fun?
If you ask what's next for me, you're leaving it up to an external energy to decide for you. You get to decide that. And by lining up with your higher self, you will know. You will know.
Oh, and I remember what I was going to say about the last one, but it actually ties in with this one as well. So you said, like, don't mix the Sprite and all that stuff and have that clarity. Stop trying to think about it. And then instead, like, go into that heart space and feel into what feels good for you. So
your
what
body's a
feels
pendulum.
Like fun. Your body is a pendulum. That's a good point. Stand upright and like clear and fully like standing straight, right? And then ask your body, say, give me a yes in this present moment and let it rock either forward or backward. And then say, give me a no in this present moment and let it, whichever one is yes, usually that's forward for me, no is back. And
also keeping in mind that what's next for you is right under your feet. It's not next. It's right here,
it's
right
already
now.
Happening.
And you just have to maybe dive deep or dig deep to uncover that treasure. That's all. Oh, Light Star Dimensions. I love that guy.
Oh, awesome. Who is that? Light Star Dimensions?
Yeah, so
That's
what's
like
next
a cool name.
doesn't exist. It's
Awesome.
here right now.
That's a good point.
Nothing is coming to save you. Nothing.
You are saving yourself, darling.
Yes.
Okay. Should we do this one? I am currently questioning what I am supposed to be doing in this lifetime as far as work. I feel frozen. Any direction you could give me on the path would be extremely helpful. So grateful. Thank you. Okay, so I think that goes perfect with exactly what we're saying. Tapping
before you say something, just psychically, go travel. Go travel like ASAP. And don't be confined to what it is that you're doing right now.
Yep.
Go travel. Create some space. Let those answers stream in. All right? So that's for you specifically.
That's
All
awesome.
right, go ahead.
Same thing of what we were saying. For you to find your passion, your purpose, the simplest equation that I can give you is, one, ask yourself what keeps you up at night, what you're constantly thinking, not the stress of the day, but like the things that you're like, okay, what is it that like really lights your soul on fire, that you're like, okay, this is, and I wish I could be doing this, or I wish I could be doing that, or whatever those things are that you're like, this would be amazing. And if it scares you a little bit, awesome. And if it feels like it would be really fun, that's where you follow that path, because ultimately your spirit is joyous. So whenever you're following something that feels joyous, you know that you're on path and purpose.
Perfect. All right, this is a good question. How do we raise our aura and vibration?
Ooh.
How about this? You don't have to raise it. You just have to release the stuff that weighs it down.
Damn, yes.
You don't have to raise it. You are a high
It's like
dimensional.
a balloon.
You're an air
with a
balloon
weight
with
on
the
it.
sandbags. Just get rid of the
A
sandbags.
couple sandbags.
Right?
Just drop that shit one by one and you'll just...
That's really, it's the truth, because the truth is you're high dimensional and you came in that way, and then there were things that you internalized, that you absorbed, that then weighed your vibration down, that disconnected you from who you are. So just try to release the stuff
Yes.
that is weighing you down.
I think I 100% agree with that. I don't think I have anything to say on that. I think that's solid. Yeah. Yes. Awesome. Okay. Who is next? Breaking agreements with negative energy entities. Boom. Okay. So one, I don't make agreements in the first place. I am very particular about not making agreements or contracts or anything like that with any entity that you see comes to you that says, oh, and sign here, and we'll give you this, and we'll give you that, and works through people.
I pay attention to everything. I don't nod if I'm not in agreement.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean, so to be clear, that doesn't mean don't sign a contract with somebody, because sometimes if you're in business or whatever, so we just want to make that super clear.
It's signing a contract with invisible forces that are malevolent, and we want to really be 100% aware and alert as to everything that's going on. So when you're having a conversation with someone, keeping in mind that everyone is a conduit for either light or dark.
Yeah.
And so if you don't agree with someone, don't nod, because you just made an agreement.
Right.
Right? So pay attention to everything. Don't let anything slide by.
And her or his, so Ed, I think that's a guy, says breaking agreements with negative entities and energies. So I guess that's like a how-to question. So if it's already created, then it's how I'm intuiting that's how to, that's the question, is how to break those.
I like to look at them with my third eye and call in light of the highest frequency. Christ consciousness works for me particularly. And then I look at all of them as a mother would look at a child when a child is being disobedient. And I look at them very firmly and assertively, and they usually go away, because my third eye is a flashlight. It's a beam of light, and they do not want to be seen or exposed. And a lot of people who, you'll notice that when you're trying to hide something or there's an entity attached to you, you look away. That's how the entity is able to keep living and residing in you.
Because your fear of it will allow it to continue existing. When you can look it dead on.
Yeah, it's like, avoidance.
I see you,
exactly.
And here's some love,
bringing
but
your
I see
full-on awareness to it, and like you mean business. All right.
I would say what was the other thing to add on to that is, what was the agreement that, like, what were you given, or what was, like, in the agreement, what was promised, like what was offered to you. Yeah, what did you need? And if that's something that then you can release the attachment to that.
Ooh.
So I don't know. So I don't know if that's something that then could be given back. But yeah.
Oh, and another thing is, while you look at them,
it's a cheat too.
And you're going to get that.
Is a cheat.
They're going to get this because they're highly advanced. When you look at them, imagine that any piece of your soul that they once took away from you, or any energy that they pirated from you, you are now, as you look at them, you're taking all of that energy back, because it's yours. It is you.
And it comes from within,
and
too.
you didn't mean to sign that contract. You were unconscious. So you have a right, now that you're conscious, you have a right to take that back.
Yeah.
It's yours. All right. Great.
It's interesting. That's bringing up a lot of interesting.
What else?
Here, oops. Do you need to plug in my
Christina, PRZ. Phil, will I be in an amazing romantic relationship soon? Yes.
We have.
Oh, we have a minute? Dude, that was fast. Damn, okay. People. All right, so
finish up that last one.
So
we love you guys.
To the person who asked me if she'd be in love soon, yes. All right, you have an amazing soul, an amazing essence. It's coming. Be patient. Don't settle for less, and let it come to you.
And project the love out that you want to receive. So who do you have to become in order to attract that person that you want into your life?
100%. So before we leave you, we want to thank you for tuning in.
Because you're so amazing, and this was so exciting. We hope this offered for both, on my page, on Phil's page.
Yeah.
Love you guys so much. I hope everybody got benefits from this as well.
Definitely. And definitely go follow Serah. And she's a beast spiritually. She's a spiritual beast. A spiritual beast in a pretty disguise. And yeah, that's it, you guys. We love you and we thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Sending
Bye-bye.
you love. We'll save these.